Tony Boselli is joining us, lead analyst for Thursday Night Football Westwood One, five-time Pro Bowler, and kind enough to join us after a late night. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
Dan, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
What's the most you ever ate that is sitting?
That's a great question. I was listening to that. I got hungry thinking 4 pounds of ribs. I think I could easily down 4 pounds of ribs. I do not think that would be difficult.
But did you ever have the offensive lineman who got, like when you guys get together, you don't want to have somebody's fingers get in the way of you guys when you guys get serious?
No. I wouldn't have gone ribs. I would never go ribs with a bunch of offensive linemen. I go ribs with my wife and my kids I wouldn't even take my sons because they might get in my way. You go with the offensive line like a steak where you get your own plate of food and you manage that yourself. There's too many things going on with ribs on the table.
Did you have a hard time putting on weight or taking off weight?
I could do both really effectively. And I was, in all seriousness, I was lucky playing. I could, I weighed 325 every day of my life just about, regardless of what I ate. If, I got to 327, I ate a little bit less. If I got to 323, I ate a little bit more. But I was around that weight all the time. And now I have the ability to fluctuate by much greater amounts, in the 40-pound range of up and down based on what I eat.
Last night, up close and personal with this, it looked like it was going to be a great game, a shootout, and then all of a sudden Pittsburgh hit an extra gear and then it was over. But what stood out, if you're a Carolina Panther fan, what should you be concerned about, even though Ron Rivera said it's just one game? You saw what last night that would concern you the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, they struggle to get a pass rush. That would be concerning for me. And outside Addison, they don't have a consistent pass rush. So, I mean, I think that's the one biggest thing, which then, makes you pretty vulnerable in the pass, in the secondary if you're not rushing the passer in today's rules. Outside that, I mean, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, offensive line, they gave up some pressure too, which they haven't been doing when they've been playing well. But, I think they're going to be fine. I actually agree with Ron Rivera. I said it to Iron Eagle after the game. We did our wrap-up, and I said, if I'm Ron Rivera, I walk in that locker room and say, we're forgetting about this right now. It's an anomaly. We're a good football team, because they are.
Yeah.
Cam's playing at the highest level he's done in a long time as far as efficiency. I think Norv Turner's done a great job. I love Christian McCaffrey. I think he's an outstanding two-way back. And the young receivers that are starting to play better, and Moore and Samuels, I think they're going to be fine. Now, I don't think the problem if you're the Carolina Panthers, I don't think they're good enough to beat the Saints. And so you're really playing for a wild card spot in the NFC.
As far as the Steelers, now we see this and then we act surprised that we see it, but we shouldn't be surprised when they have the offenses clicking. And, last night Ben had one of those nights, but are they going to be consistent enough offensively the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think offensively they're going to be fine. That's not their problem down the stretch, even the last few years. I mean, look at the playoffs last year where Jacksonville beat them. They beat them like 42-35.
Yeah.
Not that they don't score enough points. It's the defense lets them down in big moments, and it's in particular that secondary. They have to. The front four are going to have to play great the rest of the year. Joe Hayden he's playing well in the back half, and they got some nice pieces, but it's really the front four. If they can get the pass rush out of Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt on the outside, and then Tuitt and Hayward inside, those four, and they can pressure with four, then they'll be fine. But offensively, I don't worry about them one bit. I mean, they have weapons everywhere. James Conner's filling. I mean, the real interesting thing is going to be what they do with Le'Veon Bell if he does sign, which I can't imagine him not. I mean, he's already thrown away enough money in his life.
If you were the starting tackle on the Steelers, would you want Le'Veon Bell in there?
Yes. Come on, Dan. I want less all-pro players and more? No, yes. I want him on my team. Show up. I don't care. I don't care why you held out. I don't care what you did. If you show up and you can help me win, I want you on my team. Now, if you're a distraction and you become a problem in the locker room, then no. And I'll deactivate you and get rid of you. But until you prove differently, I want you on my team. He's a great player. I wouldn't start him. It's James Conner's job. But here's what people forget. Le'Veon Bell can be your third receiver. Yep. He can play the slot. Yep. And so I want him immediately. Please come back if I'm an offensive tackle.
Here's my only concern about that is, does he say you're using me too much? If this is all about I want to protect myself and get that next contract here, what's going to stop him from saying, hey, I don't want to play in overtime, or you know what, you're giving me too many touches here?
Well, that's when he becomes a distraction. You get rid of him. But until that happens, I play him.
Stop yelling at me,
that's a great
Tony.
thing.
You're yelling at me.
Why? Well, I'm excited. First of all, I haven't slept. I've not slept in 24 hours. And you asked me, when's the last time you think like an offensive lineman to somebody? I mean, that doesn't happen very often on the radio or on the Dan Patrick Show. I'm honored that get an offensive lineman's perspective.
I'm trying to get you in the Hall of Fame.
I know. Listen, you're one of my favorite people in the media. And it started last year when someone shot me a text that, Dan Patrick's trying to get you in the Hall of Fame. I said, well, you know what? He is now my favorite radio show on the air.
Well, I got Terrell Davis in, and I worked hard for that, and I worked hard for Jack Morris to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And you know what? I don't think people realize how great you were. They might not remember, but I hope they do. But, I know the injuries, but, yeah, I hope you get into the Hall of Fame. I do.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I do. I really appreciate it. It'll be a great honor.
All right. And you don't have to mention me in the speech, all right?
I will.
Well, okay.
Well,
all right.
Yeah, no, listen, I have no problem mentioning the people who helped me. I mean, you'll be one of them. My good friend from CBS, Pete Prisco, is out there banging the drums as well. I'll mention him. There's a few I'll mention out there, but not a lot.
Well, I might be presenting you, so you wouldn't have to thank me if I'm presenting.
That's a good point. It'll be opposite side. It'll be Dan Patrick, my son, Mark Rudell, or Dan Patrick. I mean, it's a tough decision.
Best team in the AFC right now is?
It's the Patriots.
Why?
Because they got home field advantage they're going to, I shouldn't say that. They have 2 losses. The Chiefs have 1. I think at the end they'll have home field. If they don't, it's the Chiefs. So whatever between the Chiefs and the Patriots, who gets the home field throughout the playoffs are the best team. And I'm betting on Tom Brady. He's remarkable. The talent, Josh Gordon signing, if he can keep his head on straight, was amazing. He is a great receiver. And Bill Belichick, I have no idea how he does it. They don't have the talent on defense, on paper.
Yeah.
They start off slow every year, and then by the end of it, they're playing really good defense. He's a master. I give him a ton of credit. So Tom Brady's, is the greatest to ever play the game, in my opinion. And because of that, I typically go with them first and foremost.
Best team in the NFC?
It's the Saints, because I don't think anyone can go into the Superdome and beat them.
Yeah, I think you can go. I think they're gettable, but you know what? I like them going to the Super Bowl, so I hope that they are able to do that. But the Rams got that. The Rams defense, I'm still waiting to figure that out. Like, is it going to be formidable, or is it just going to be like sort of complimentary?
I think it's just complimentary, because the problem is the back half's not playing great, and to leave with that foot or ankle, whatever it is, we're not sure when he's going to come back. And up front, Aaron Donald's the only guy who can make a play. Yep. And so, you slide to him every time, you double him. He's still going to get a sack or 2. That's fine. But the rest of the defense, in my opinion, is just okay. They traded for Dante Fowler. He was here in Jacksonville. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. Now, they can score a lot of points. And, Dan, here's the deal. You know this. You guys talk about it every day. The way this league is set up and the rules have positioned it where you might just have to outscore everybody. And if that's the case, the Rams are positioned pretty well.
If I said you could block J.J. Watt, Khalil Mack, or Von Miller?
Von Miller is the best pass rushers out of those 3, in my opinion.
Okay, but who would you have a hard time, or maybe a
None
little?
Of them.
Who gave you trouble?
The funny thing is, the guy who gave me the most trouble my entire career was I only played him once, and he only played defensive end for 1 year. He was a defensive tackle the rest of his career, and that's John Randall. Because Randall was short, powerful, and quick and fast. So I could never – the one game I played him was up in Minnesota. I couldn't hear a dang thing. And I never felt like I got any leverage on him because he was always underneath me, and I felt like I was playing catch-up the entire game. So he would be that. And then, Michael McCray from Baltimore is a great player because he played with leverage. He was a big, good player. Obviously, Bruce Smith I played against was an outstanding player. I played against late Derek Thomas. He was good. Everyone knows those. But, the guys that you wouldn't think of because John Randall didn't play defensive end except for 1 year. And Michael McCrary, because no one talks about him on those great Baltimore defenses like they should. So those are a couple of them. But the 3 guys you mentioned are great players. I just think Von Miller's the best pass rusher. But J.J. Watt, the interesting thing about J.J. Watt, so impressed with him, and especially before he got hurt, and he's come back this year, and he's playing at a high level. But if you watch him, he's more of a finesse player for a big guy. He's great with the swim move, great with his hands. He does not power rush people a lot, and I think that it surprises people because everyone plays the power with him, and so they get caught leaning. And he is such a great athlete. So they each have their own strengths, and they're great. To be a great pass rusher, you have to have a great counter, and each of them have great counters. You can't be just a fastball pitcher because sooner or later a good offensive tackle can sit on the fastball. You got to be able to change it up, and each of those guys can do that.
Did anybody talk trash to you?
No. I mean, I remember that. Go back to John Randall. That was his MO.
Yeah.
I always thought about that. Bruce didn't like me very much. He never had kind words to share with me on the field.
Bruce Smith didn't like you? Why?
Yeah, he always said because he said I held him every play.
Did you?
No, well, if they don't call it, it's not holding.
That's
put
true.
It that way.
That's true.
So I don't determine holding, and neither does he. The official does, and they didn't throw the yellow flag. So, no, I was not. And here's the one thing: the great players like that, if they're not getting to the quarterback, they start talking and get frustrated.
Did you ever apologize to your quarterback as he's down on the ground? Like when your guy got past you?
No, I didn't, because he didn't apologize when he threw a pick. And as I used to tell Mark, because Mark and I used to drive to work all the time, and I said, Mark, listen, anybody can sit back there when it's 7-on-7 and they're not getting hit. I mean, the real test if you're a good quarterback is you're getting smoked in the chin and you're still completing the ball. So, every once in a while you got to let a guy go to test those guys back there.
You need some sleep.
I probably do. But thanks for having me on the show, and I do appreciate the kind words you say about my career. It does mean a lot to me.
Good luck, Tony. Thank you.
I'll try not to yell at you next time either.
That's Tony Boselli, lead analyst, Thursday Night Football in Westwood One, 5-time Pro Bowler with the Jags.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.